I'm gonna mute for a minute because I'm just gonna.
Okay. All right, we are live on YouTube. Shira, wherever you are, I am going to make you the host now.
Thank you.
We are still live on YouTube.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Hope everyone had a good week.
It's been pretty good so far.
All right, I'm gonna turn.
People.
Okay.
Shira, I'm not a host or co-host, but don't worry about it. You don't have to mute me. I have my own mute button on my microphone. So just leave me unmuted.
Can you hear the piano? Can you play some? Play some.
Yes.
Can you hear the piano? Great. Yep. Yes. Nope, that's perfect. They can hear you just great. Love it when a plan works.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Mischievous puppy.
Lisa, did you get my email about the ushers?
I did not, but I haven't looked at my email for a little bit.
That's fine. I just put in some thoughts on how we can do it and kind of not have, have different people and so on. When you get a chance.
Okay, great.
Ushers, how would we need ushers?
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Sure. Mike, could you mute
Hello.
everyone, please?
You like that, Gail?
Ushers?
Ushers? Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my head around.
Sorry, everyone. It's 6:45 and we're going to get started. Shabbat Shalom and thank you for joining us. It's not that often in the year I get to ask, why is this night different from all other nights? But I get to ask it again this evening because the answer is we are trying something a little different in our preparation for the High Holy Days. We are trying a setup that will very much closely resemble our setup for the High Holy Days. Mine will be a little fancier, but I'll be here. Lisa will be in the building with musical accompaniment from our wonderful pianist, Manahara, who is joining us this evening, though off camera. You will hear that piano. We have our Zoom master here, Shira Weiss, who's running our Zoom for this evening. And that's enough to be going on with. So it's a little bit different. We're still streaming on YouTube. We should have a great service this evening. And thank you very much for joining us. And we're beginning with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Lishalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzvem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Tonight, I will light the candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world on this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide.
Lecha dodi likrat kala enei Shabbat nekabel ra. Lecha dodi likrat kala enei Shabbat nekabel ra. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Ishmianu el ha'miuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'lithilah, L'echad dodi likrat kala enei Shabbat nekabela. L'echad dodi likrat kala enei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechugan elcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof na'aseh b'machshava tefila. L'echad dodi likrat kala enei Shabbat nekabela. L'echad dodi likrat ברי, כי בעורף ומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני, עלייך נקרא, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקרבה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקרבה. אוהי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, טוב אמוני עם סגולה, אוהי חלה, אוהי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקרבה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקרבה.
We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event. So we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
יתקדש מרבה,
Amen.
ועמד יברח ירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביום נכון, וחיי תכו בית ישראל, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם לעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בימה, ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם ועד.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta. Torah mitzvot umishpatim otanu limadeta Aken Adonai Eloheinu v'shofenu Menu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu Ulahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. V'ahavatcha al tasir, imenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shem kevod, malchuto leolam, leolam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha u'lechtecha v'derech u'shofecha v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'vish'arecha leman tizkeru ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'etar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osei felem, nora tehilot, osei felem. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה אלינו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב גאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל.
Let there be peace, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores tukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. איש ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את הארץ, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon. Gomel chasadim tovim, v'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevii geula livnei bneihem, lema'an shemo v'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, v'chayei hakol atah v'hoshia, morid hatal, mechakel chaim b'chesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofei cholim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato לשני עפר, מחמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Me'amecha Yisrael U'tefilata be'ahava tikabel. Tamid Yir Avodat Yisrael. Yisrael
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. And now turn to the meditations of your own heart as we take a few moments of silent reflection.
Oseh shalom bimromav, Ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Imeru, Amen. Ose Shalom, Imrama, Uyase Shalom, Aleinu, Le'akol, Israel, Imeru, Amen. Ose Shalom, Bimrama, Yase Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Ose Shalom Bimroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen.
And now our thoughts turn to those who are suffering physically or emotionally or spiritually, and we pray for their healing. Those in our community that we are praying for this week include Sharon Barr, Marcy Berman, Sarah Cohen, Kay Cosby, Carolyn Dowland, Mel Eichelbaum, Dawn Elmore, Steve Feynman, Bernice Fischel, Sherry Foss, Justin Folk, Natalie Greenberg, Mitchell Jacobson, Marlene Carden, Al Kaufman, Alan Kiefer, Matt Kiefer, Amber Keller, Caitlin Kiernan, Siobhan Kiernan, Alex Kipp, Ida Kononova, Jana Lesser, Dan McShane, Sarah McShane, Jean McClure, Tom Manning, Olivia Martinez, Mike McNerney, Vivian Montemayor, Tom Moore, Sam Negri, Charles Patrick, Alan Polonsky, Carol Schiffer, Jay Sorgman, Michael Stern, Terry Ward, Susan Weber, Elliot Wesser, and Marcia Gorin-Wesser. At this time, if there are names you would like to add to our prayers, I invite you to unmute yourself and share those names with us, and then remute yourselves.
Senator
James-
Callahan, Mary White, Linda Stark.
James Brandenburg, Cheryl Samet, Grace Thomas.
David Fishelman, Kyle McPherson.
Ezra Yarvi Yerech, and Angela Northwelsi.
Chuck and Karen Frohl.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Thank you. We pray Misha Berach for their healing. Misha Berach avotenu vimotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarechet hacholim shalanu HaKadosh Baruch Hu yimalei rachamim alehem lehachlimam u'rapotam u'lehachazikam v'yishlach lehem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim refuat hanefesh u'refuat haguf hashta bagala v'zman kariv v'nomar amen.
Rifeinu Adonai v'nei Rafei, Hoshienu v'ni Vashea, El Karov l'chol korav, Ach Karov l're'av yishov. We pray for healing healing of the body. We pray for healing of the soul, for strength of flesh and mind and spirit. We pray to once again be whole. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh, refuat ha-guf, refuat shalema. Heal us now, heal us now, heal us now, heal us now. Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachlatecha, uvareim et nasem et haolam. Misha berach avotenu, Misha barach imotenu, Ana Adonai Hoshiana. We pray for healing of our people. We pray for healing of the land and peace for every race and nation, every child, every woman, every man. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh, refuat ha-guf, refuat shalema. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh, refuat ha-guf, refuat shalema. Heal us now, heal us now, heal us now. Refana, heal us now.
I'd like to start by looking at a line in this week's Parsha we don't talk about a lot. Deuteronomy 12:2 opens with an injunction, a commandment to utterly destroy, abade ta'avdun, idol worship. The Tanakh uses this language so we will know, according to Sifrei Devarim, that all those places where idols were worshipped needed to be completely wiped out. Many of us know the Midrashic tale from Genesis Rabbah of Abraham in his father Terach's idol shop. There, Abraham understood there was but one God, and so he smashed all the idols and put a stick in the hand of the largest idol. His father was furious, and Avram, as he was known then, told his father that a woman came in to make an offering to the idols. The idols argued about which one should eat the offering first. Then the largest idol took the stick and smashed all the other idols. Terach responded by saying that they're only statues and have no knowledge, and Avram responded to him by asking his father why they would worship clay statues with no knowledge. This story is about many things, but mostly monotheism and the futility of idol worship. I don't know about you, but I don't see a lot of Iron Age style idol worshiping happening in the world around me. Not many posts of Asherah or priests of Baal or burning of people alive to satisfy Molech. It would seem that in this particular case, whether or not we are the ones who succeeded in doing it, and we weren't, this commandment got fulfilled. Utterly destroying anything doesn't sound like the message a pluralist would promulgate. And yet pluralism cannot flourish among those who perform human and child sacrifice, or among those with no basic attachment to fairness, or for those who refuse to confront bad ideas with good ideas. Today, we argue over whether all the morality, as literally presented in the Torah, fits with our modern world. But the Torah is meant to be re-understood in each generation. The Torah itself tells us this later in the book, in chapter 30. The Torah has some flexibility to be interpreted. And as we see from our rabbinic tradition and the Talmud as its greatest work, argument and debate is to be preserved, even the losing side, because our values teach us both sides contain wisdom. Not every literal word you read in the Torah can be meant in today's world to be taken literally. This isn't a simple cop-out. It's our mission to reinterpret what these words mean in modernity. But our tradition also teaches us this is only true when an argument is l'shem shamayim, for the sake of heaven. If it is not, that argument will not endure. What does this mean for idol worship? Well, let's take a look at that translation. The term idol worship is represented by the Hebrew phrase avodah zarah, meaning literally strange or foreign worship. Similar to the eish zarah, the strange offering of Aaron's sons that consume them. In our modern world, we do not have, as I mentioned earlier, a problem of human sacrifice, for instance, as the moral system we have put into the world helped stop this practice long, long ago. One might interpret avodah zarah in this generation not as literal idol worship, but as the prioritization and obsession over and the worship of things or ideas that are not God. Does this mean that if you are a fan of a sports team, you should be condemned, or if you love a movie franchise, it is to be utterly destroyed? No. When the rabbis analyze what it means to take God's name in vain, for instance, it doesn't mean saying, "Oh God," or something like that. It's attributing words to God that God never passed down to us. Saying God something isn't the same as telling someone, the Torah says dinosaurs were meant to rule the world, which it certainly doesn't say. In the same manner of interpretation as this, I think liking something that isn't God or the Torah is perfectly fine, and no Jew throughout history would probably disagree. The problem does begin when we confuse things we like with God. You can certainly have a favorite sports team or writer or political party, but when we confuse the morality, loyalties, and positions of these entities with our religious duties, we may want to examine our philosophies again. The Torah and its interpretation have lit the world for 3 millennia. We have advanced human understanding of individual liberty as we've continued to interpret the Torah, a human understanding of communal responsibility, of pluralism and mutual respect. As the world has caught up to us, we have seen parts of the world emerge from moral darkness and painful cruelty. Is the work done? No. But if we replace our Torah outright with other newer sets of moral injunctions without thinking them through, we won't be better off for it. This week's commandments regarding idol worship teach us that Judaism has always had competing moral systems out in the world around us, ones that claim to lift people up, but instead oppress the human spirit and suppress human potential. It is our duty to continue to be a light unto the nations for fairness, for even-handed justice, and for the dignity of the human spirit. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. And now I would like to invite Lori Greenberg, our president, to offer some remarks.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Our Kesher High is on hiatus until September 12th. Torah study will be held tomorrow at 11 a.m. with student Rabbi Sam Stern. I want to encourage everyone to take advantage of the opportunities to participate in the High Holy Day services. Make an appointment to have your photo taken with the Torah, and or sign up for a part in the service. All the information about those opportunities is in the Temple High notes that come out on Tuesdays, and also on our website. Just a reminder that the book club, the Sea of Reeds, is meeting on September 1st from 7 to 8:30 p.m. via Zoom. Sisterhood will not be meeting in August, but I want to encourage everyone who is not a member of Sisterhood to consider joining. And for those of you who are not, who have not paid your dues for this fiscal year, please do so either by sending in a check or by going again to our website where you can pay electronically. And now I'd like to share a couple of Shabbat thoughts that I received this week. The first one is from Gail Kipp, and Gail says, I try to focus on making Shabbat different in whatever form that may take. I look back on the week and think about the tasks or activities that took up much of my time and energy. Then I try to not do those things on Shabbat. This is more of a challenge now that I'm retired than when I was working, but I can usually find a way to make Shabbat different from the week, whether it's refraining from running errands, from being on social media, or from a variety of other activities. Since activities vary from week to week, my Shabbat observances may also vary. Also, I don't put our Shabbat candlesticks away until after Havdalah in case I need a visible reminder that it's Shabbat. I like that one. And this one is from Steve Samet. And Steve says, true friendship is a special gift people share. It should not be forgotten or taken for granted. Distance doesn't change the quality and depth of a true friendship. Use the Sabbath to connect with a friend and catch up on how that friend is doing. Shabbat Shalom. And I just want to remind everyone to send me a Shabbat thought. I'm really enjoying getting these. And I will reach out and ask for them if I don't get any unsolicited during the week. So reminder that my email is laurie.greenberg@gmail.com. So please share with us your thoughts on Shabbat and what you do to make Shabbat different and special from the rest of the week. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. And now we start our concluding prayers with Aleinu.
Before we start the concluding prayers, I just want to especially thank Manahara for providing our musical accompaniment today, and also Jesse Castro, who is helping with our sound engineering, and Shira Weiss, our Zoom master. And if we can backtrack to Aleinu, please. Backwards.
The other way.
Backwards. Backwards.
Nope.
Back. Whoops.
Sorry, everybody, give me one moment, please.
And this is why we do a test run.
We'll extend an additional thank you to everyone who's here again for our test run.
Well,
we
thank you.
appreciate it.
Aleinu l'shabech la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula liyotzeh breshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz, v'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinat zo b'govhei meromim, u'Eloheinu ein od. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
And now, as our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, we remember from our own congregation in the period of Shloshim in the 30 days, Elsa Sofer, mother of Sharon Neisenfeld, and the yahrzeits of Lillian Fishbane, mother of Wendy Drezick, and Richard Lester Hudson, brother of Rodney Hudson. We also remember 10 people who perished in the Holocaust: Emil Zadek, Greta Zilverschmidt, Elizabeth Weinberg, Babetta Wolfenbergen, Martha Rosenthal, Angela Zeldenrust, Meta Charlotta van Zuiden, Roos Weil, Jacomtje Verms, and Rosa Weil. And now, if you have names you would like to add before we say the Mourner's Kaddish, I invite you to please unmute yourself and add them so our community can also think about them. Okay. For those whom we already mentioned, and for those for whom there are none to say Kaddish, we say, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'alam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemed kudsha brichu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing.
We are going to conclude with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher malach b'terem kol Yitzir nivra li'ei nasa v'chavtzo kol Azai melech shemo nikra Azai melech shemo nikra Ve'acharei kiflotav kol levado Yimloch nora Ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh Ve'hu yeh b'tifara Ve'hu yeh b'tifara Ve'hu echad v'ein sheni Lehamshilo lehachmira Ve'li reishit ve'li tachlit Ve'lo ha'oz ve'ha'misra Ve'lo ha'oz ve'ha'misra Ve'hu eli ve'charko ali Ve'tzur chevli ve'etzara Ve'hu nisi umanosli Minat kosi b'yom ekra Biado af kidruhi Yapretishan Beaira Beimruhi Geviati Adonai li Veloira Adonai li Veloira.
Now it's time for Kiddush. We'd like to invite Steve Samet, who's going to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi.
I unmuted myself. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzosav, v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava v'ratzon, hin kilanu. Zikaron l'maseh breshis ki hu yom, techilah l'mikrai kodesh, secher l'tzmiat mitzrayim. Kivanu facharta, v'yosanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kadshecha, v'yahava v'ratzon, hinkatanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
All right. Well, I don't bake as well as Lisa does, so I had to go out and get somebody to bake for me. So I will say the hamotzi using this round challah, better known as a bagel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for joining our service. We're going to take ourselves off of YouTube now. I invite you to unmute yourselves and wish everyone else a Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
shalom.
Be very.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, one and all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Mom.
Shabbat shalom.
Have a great week, everyone.
Sandra?
Stay cool.
Thanks,
Mahara.
Yeah.
Right.
Lori says
Where
that.
are you? Where is that big forest that we see behind you?
In Colorado.
I know you're in Colorado, but you're